Good morning, X-Plane enthusiasts, virtual captains. We're here to fly the new, updated actually, iniBuilds A300 version 1.10. I did one flight with this airplane yesterday from San Juan to Miami and flew very nicely. They fixed a lot of functions from the original version that came out. I guess it's about 3 months ago at this point. Today we're going to go from Albuquerque to Phoenix. Looking at around, let's check the flight plan. We're looking at 53-minute flight time, wheels up to wheels down. Just take a look at the outside of this airplane. It's magnificent. We're also going to fly with Eastern colors today. Eastern didn't fly the Dash 600. They flew the Dash 200, I believe, the one with the flight engineer. But we're going to do a little bit of pretending today, and just because Eastern, I have a sentimental connection with this airline from childhood. So I figured the blue from the Eastern stripes will go well with the desert scenery. So taking a look at the outside, iniBuilds really did a great job with texturing. It's a really nice looking engine there. Okay, let's jump in. I developed my own checklist for this airplane. I'm going to use it. It works well for me. Maybe out of order with the real checklist of the plane, but we're going to work with what we got for now. Cockpit is once again great texturing all around. We're going to start over here with ground ops on the EFB. I'm going to open some doors here. For now, we're just going to open the forward right door and the forward cargo door. Ground services, let's hook up the external power. Air stairs we don't need. Loader we don't need. Air start unit we don't need. Fuel truck we do need. Well, let's do the catering as well. We don't need a passenger bus because we're hooked up to the jetway. Pushback, I'm not going to use the pushback function that comes with the airplane. I'm going to use my Better Pushback program here, which still works really well. Let's do that flight plan now, or the pushback plan now. And I'll call the pushback truck in a little bit. Oh, that looks good right about there.
Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay, everything is set on the outside. Before we load up the airplane, let's get the overhead taken care of. Batteries, we want to check the volts on all three up here. And looks like we're showing a, well, that may be reading external power because battery power usually isn't above 25. Let's see if we're, and the external power, we're showing power on that. Turn 3 batteries on. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to turn on the external power. I'm going to leave the APU off for now. IOS mode selectors, we're going to turn on 1, 3, and 2. Wait for that bat op light to go out. And it enters align mode. Same thing with the other two. Okay, since the airplane's under power now, I'm going to turn on all of our nav lights out there. There is a restriction to these. They don't want you engaging these within at least 5 minutes after engaging. I'm sorry, they don't want you to change electrical power source for at least 5 minutes after engaging pitch trim or yaw damper. And do not engage yaw dampers until the IRS align mode lights go out. So we're going to follow that limitation there, although we are going to bring on the ATS. I'm just going to go through a regular flow here. Passenger signs. Put that on heading. Down. I'm going to turn my inner tank pump number 2 on for when we start the APU. Up here is good. Cockpit door unlocked. I'm going to keep all these off for now. I'll be bringing them on after plane's under APU power. Here, I'm going to arm my emergency lights. APU bleed is off for now. All these I'm going to leave on auto. That's good for the overhead panel. Down here, I'm going to adjust the lighting using this side panel over here. Same thing up here. Okay, next on the checklist we have our MC initialized. And I'm just going to confirm our 2 from airports, Albuquerque to Phoenix. Alternate is KPRC. Align IRS. No company route, no alternate route. Cost index I'm going to keep rather low on this leg, down at only 10%. And we are filed for 34,000 feet. Flight ID is EAL 4555. And one last thing on this page, that's our cruise wind at flight level 340 is going to be 274 at, well, it's not too high, 274 at 12, only blowing 12 knots up there. Okay, we're going to hold on the FMS for now and go back to our load page and load the aircraft up. Our flight plan shows we need just about 25,000 pounds of fuel to complete this flight. I'm going to move that up. 25.2, close enough. And press load fuel. And I can kind of tell that works when these shadows move around a little bit after I press load fuel. It means 25,000 pounds of fuel has just been dumped into the airplane, and that confirms it. Next, let's load the plane up with full passengers. How's that? People traveling from Albuquerque to Phoenix. Once again, I watch for that shadow to move there. Confirm it loaded up. And next, we're not going to have much cargo. How about we just put a little bit in there and load that. Next, I'll find my pencil here. I am going to write down on a scratch piece of paper some of these values. I'm going to write down our zero fuel weight, which is 250.4. Zero fuel CG 30.1. DOCG is at 35. And my fuel on board is 25,200. And after all that's confirmed, and it looks good, we're going to send takeoff to whatever that just said. Okay, I'm using xEnviro for weather, so I don't think this ATIS request is going to work with that, so I'm just going to manually put in weather conditions. I'm going to get up my xEnviro weather briefing page. KABQ, the Phoenix. Looks like the weather's pretty nice there. Okay, winds are at 0. Outside air temperature is -1 Celsius. They want the altimeter in hectopascal, so we're going to do a quick conversion. 3045 is what xEnviro is saying, and if I set 3045 in this, my altimeter down here, showing 1031 millibars. Put that in there. Runway is dry. Takeoff, no anti-ice. Takeoff weight 125 kilos, 275 pounds. We're going to go for flaps 15/15 takeoff. Air conditioner will be on. We could do flex takeoff for this since we're pretty light. Come up here. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm not at Phoenix yet. Albuquerque. I'm going to depart runway 8 at Albuquerque today. And hit compute, see if everything worked out. Okay, well, let's try for no flaps and just slat takeoff. See if it likes that better. Okay, that looks good. So we got V speeds of 168. I'm writing these down as well. 176. Flex temperature of 49 degrees. And takeoff trim at 1.2 down. And before I do anything else, send data to FMS, yes. Before I do anything else, I'm going to set that trim because that's, at least I forget that sometimes and have an interesting rotation during takeoff. So our trim value is 1.2 down. Move that right about there. That looks good enough. going to come back to my receive company data good, and come back to my FMS. I'm going to enter some of these. Fuel on board, my block fuel is 25.2, zero fuel weight, 250.4. I'll fill in the rest there. And CG is DOCG 35. So let's see, alternate. Sorry, just taking a sip of coffee there. Everything looks like it's worked out on that page. Next, want to enter my flight plan. Well, let's do the flight plan. There we go. I'm getting this FMS confused with other airplanes. When you fly multiple airplanes on X plane, it kind of gets confusing. So my departure is going to be runway first, select 8, and we are the Redder 3, Zoom, transition. That's good. Press insert. And I just want to confirm that with my chart up here. And that, especially the altitudes here. That all looks good. After Zoom, we have, well, that's the first fix on our Eagle arrival, Eagle 6 arrival into Phoenix. So, no intermediary fixes. I'm going to be landing runway, let's double check there. Looks like we'll plan for runway 7 left. Eagle, Zoom transition, and 7 left. Okay, that just erased. I think you have to pick the runway first. That's better. Make sure everything says select, insert. Should have a discontinuity in there, and we will just remove, after I confirm with the chart there, Eagle 6, Zoom transition, Dojo's my first fix after Zoom, so I can remove this discontinuity. And I'll just take a I can confirm my fixes here in plan mode, make sure everything makes sense. Let's go back. Albuquerque. Okay, I do want to keep that discontinuity in there. The arrival looks like it ends with vectors. Okay, that all looks good. We'll bring this back to map mode and keep that on 15. I'll go to takeoff performance, and since I sent over these numbers, we're only going to have the V1 and VR in there. V2 you need to set up on the FCU, which I can't bring on until, okay, it looks like my IRSs are aligned. We'll pretend that 5 minutes has passed. So let's bring on all of these, and that'll bring to life my FCU up here. Decision height in this plane, by default, we go to -5 feet. Over here, this is where I'm going to set my V2 speed, 176. And this is different for different airlines, but we're going to just simulate. We're going to pre-select 250 knots up here. And there it showed up there, 176. Our accelerate and climb thrust should be 1,000 AGL. So 6352. Let me just confirm what that is matching. Yeah, 53, 52 is good. And looks like my altimeter is off a little bit. Been having these problems with Enviro 3046. I'll tell you what, let's turn Enviro off and then turn it back on again. Sometimes that fixes the altimeter. Should be reading around 5312 for our field height. And it looks like we're about 360 feet too high with the altimeter set. So if this doesn't fix the problem, I'm just going to set field elevation on my altimeters. When the altimeter is not set correctly, that's a good way to drive your airplane right into a mountain. Alright, looks like something's happening here. Let's hope that gets back down to about where it belongs. Okay, so that's looks like a bug with Enviro, where that altimeter. You got to really check that altimeter jives with the real altimeter that's set in the X-plane world, or else you're going to have problems, especially when shooting approaches, when climbing out, especially in a mountainous area here. So it looks like that did the trick. It's going to dial back down to what our real field elevation is. I just want to wait for that to do its thing before I proceed. And it should be stopping here. And it looks like it is. Good. Now that's what we need. So 6352. It's about 1,000 feet above where we are now. So that's all going to jive. We're going to keep that right where it is. Okay, continuing on with my FCU panel, let's set our altitude limit and checking the SID here. Altitude limit is 20, flight level 200. And we are going to do an immediate left turn after takeoff direct to Redner. which looks like it's going to be about a 260 heading. So let's dial that over there now. We're going to be taking off it with the nav mode armed, so we won't use this. We'll only use this as a backup. We'll keep our vertical speed on 0. And for right now, I am going to arm profile and arm nav, and they show up in the blue areas down here. Okay, that's good for now. Come down here, set the flex temperature, which is 49 degrees, which is giving me a target of 96.6 N1 setting. Oops, I don't want toga. I want to flex takeoff. And all that's good. Let's continue on here. This time I'll start the APU, bring that on, and that gets up the APU page. And press start. One other thing I have to set over here, it's landing elevation. Phoenix is 1134. It's good for now. Is the APU spooling up? Looks like we have it available. So now we'll bring on APU bleed. Turn off the external power. Turn on galley power. Now I can bring these on. Okay, and let's disconnect the GPU. External power is disconnected. Alright, everything is to my liking up here. Let's keep on going down. Set our transponder. I always use a generic 0222 code. Oh. Okay, looks like it's one of these. There we go, 0222. And I'm just going to go ahead and bring that on now. Forgot to turn my lights on down here. Good. Rudder trim, reset. Hit that once. And now's a good time to call the pushback truck.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
And I will ensure I have my parking brake is set. Shocks removed. Anything else? Next. Fuel truck can be removed. Catering can be removed. And I can close all my doors. And by default, I like to keep this up on the Takeoff performance page. Okay, just wait for the pushback truck. Bring on the beacon.
Okay, all doors
And
and
wait.
hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Reading all green on the doors, so this time I'll bring up the engine page for engine start. And one more thing I want to do for the emergency return back to runway 8, I want to get that ILS frequency in there. 111.9, just to use as a backup.
So connected and bypass been inserted. Release parking brake.
Let's just check the surroundings here. Make sure we're not going to step on anybody out there. Alright, and we're good for pushback.
Starting pushback. And you may start engines.
Okay, engine start. Before start, no white switch lights illuminated. So I'm going to bring all my fuel pumps on. Double check. I'm going to lock the cockpit door. Isolation valve. Make sure no other white lights are on my overhead. Wheel dampers on, pack signs are set, doors are closed, transponders set, TCAS set, beacons on, start area clear, ignition, switch to the A system, start the number 2 engine first to ensure brake availability. Just hit this here, starter valves open, monitor. Once that M2 gets to 20%, I'm going to introduce fuel. Here it is.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
This engine winds up slowly. I assume that's simulating the real thing. That's what makes this airplane so great. iniBuilds put that type of detail into this plane. Just the engine spool up time seems like it's very realistic. Okay, looks like that generator came online. I will check that up here.
Tow is disconnected and bypass bin has been removed.
Number 2 generator is online. Switch this to the essential bus. And that's good. Let's check clear on the left, and we will start this engine next. Starter valves open. Got N2 rotation. Introduce fuel. So some of the limitations with the engine start, must have N1 rotation within 30 seconds of reaching N2 idle speed, which looks like we already have N1 rotation there. That's to ensure the N1 fans aren't frozen in place. That number 1 generator just came online. Wait for engine to stabilize. Well, let's check the volts on that. The number 1 generator is up. Ignition after start is off. APU bleed off. So we don't want to suck those exhaust gas temperatures in to the system. And I'm just going to turn the APU off now. We don't have any ice, so keep the anti-ice off. Coming down here, auto brake for rejected takeoff set to max. I'm going to bring my brake fan on. I want to taxi with the wheel page up. I forget offhand what this screen's called. We'll just call that the right screen for now. And okay, I want to arm my speed brake. And what did we have for flaps here? We had 15.0, so that's just the first notch is set. It's good. I'm going to request a clearance to taxi to 8. Taxi light on. Clear our area. We'll look good, and we can start the taxi. Parking brakes off. Give it a little bit of power. I love the sounds here with these engines. Brakes are checked. Nose wheel steering's checked. So this will be a short taxi out to runway 8. Okay, get up my taxi diagram. Looks like we'll go out here and make a right on Alpha. Somebody just landed. It's taxiing in. It's like some kind of United Express. Probably from Denver. Alright, right on Alpha, and then just a quick left on Alpha 1, and we're ready to go. Alright, I'm going to hit this takeoff config. Make sure we're all good to go. Brake fans are on. Brake temperature looks good. I'm going to bring this mode over to engine. Ignition should be on continuous relight. On wet or turbulent takeoff, we'll keep it off for now. Packs off if required for takeoff performance. We can keep them on. Now, I thought with the real airplane you can arm auto throttle before takeoff, but it looks like here you can't unless I have something set incorrectly. But we'll get that up on takeoff. Let's request a takeoff clearance. Oh, clear for takeoff. All right. So lights, strobe. All right, it's going to be a takeoff runway 8. No special considerations. Going to be an immediate left turn. Terrain is in the area to Redner intersection. Cross Redner at or above 10,000 feet, cleared up to 20,000 feet. If we have an emergency, we'll fly the departure and return here to runway 8 and land. ILS frequency is set in. Any questions? No, this is a single pilot operation today. That's my takeoff briefing. All right, we got a clear runway. Start our chrono. Landing lights on. Bring the power up a smidge. And I'm going to activate our go levers here. It should set 95.9. Airspeed's alive, 80 knots. V1, rotate. Positive rate gear up. And we want to come right around here. And I just fly the flight director bars. There's 1,000 feet. And power should come back to climb. Power. There's slats. Retract. And as long as that's on profile, I just fly the flight director bars. Really stable plane. I don't have the autopilot on, and I pretty much have my hand off the joystick right now. It's just kind of staying right where it's supposed to be. Turn the autopilot on. These can come off. These can come off too. Look, actually, I'll keep the wing on. I usually keep the wing on till 18,000 feet, and all of these come off after 10,000 feet. Just cleaning up the airplane here. Okay, let's pretend air traffic control just cleared us up to Here's Redner making the altitude restriction of above 10,000 feet. Okay, now it's a good time for after takeoff check. After takeoff, spoilers disarmed, lights are set, anti-ice not needed, ignition is off, packs are on, APU is off. And 10,000 foot transition, altimeters are set, landing lights are off, pack signs are set, and after takeoff checks complete. Coming up on 18,000 feet, altimeters 9s and 2s, set 3 ways, wing lights off, and how's my pressurization? So it's like cabin altitude. Where's my differential? Differential, looks like that's there. The cabin's kind of staying right put. It's probably because I took off from a high altitude airport. You usually see this cabin rate climbing by now. But this is what we want to keep our eye on, the differential. That all looks good. I'm going to do some sightseeing here. I'm just going to take a little tour of the back of the airplane. See how well see what they did with the inside. Very nice. Can I open these? Nope. Oh my gosh, the lavatory doors open. Wow. Here's the turlet. Sink. I guess the only thing they're missing is the 10,000 placards you see. Well, there's no smoking. Alright. Can I actually go in here and shut the door? I can. Yeah, you can even sit on the toilet here if you want. Let's see if I can do that. Oh. There we go. Okay. That's enough fun in the lavatory. Let's see if I can open this door. Where's the door? Okay, that's the sink. Uh-oh, something don't look good there. I kind of lost myself. Where am I? Oh, I see what happened. Let's just walk through. Oh, now I'm in another lavatory. I don't know how to get out of here. Where's the door? There we go. They modeled this really well, how the old Airbuses, they taper. Look at that. Great. Great. This livery has the Eastern logo on the screen. That's nice. Guess you'd call that an Easter egg. Look out the window here. Okay. Business. Center Galley. Hopefully we don't see the face of the ghost of Flight 401 right there. Ernest Borgnine's head. That's a bad joke. Okay. Another lavatory. That's for kicks. Let's just see if this one looks the same. Yeah, it does. Very nice. Forward galley. Really nice job they did on this. Oh, beautiful. Ram air turbine. Ashtray. Alright, let's see how we're doing up here. Desert's looking nice. Alright, looks like we have pretty smooth air. Let's turn the seatbelt sign off. We make the announcement. Yada yada yada. Does this thing have flight ops menu? Final states. Looks like it doesn't have cabin announcements. Alright, let's check some of these fixes on our arrival. Looks like Tinnis. We're crossing at below flight level 330 at 270 knots. See if I can I put that in? If I could do it like this. Oh, speed 270. Okay, got it. Set it on this page. All right, peso. At or below. Good, 24. Looks like all these are in. Eagle 260, at or above 18. That looks good. Homer. That's a nice name for a fix. Good. Alright, I'll assume all those are good. Alright, now that's something that shouldn't happen. They want to file a bug on that. Airplane shouldn't initially turn right for a left-hand turn. Alright, we will descend via the Eagle arrival, and I think that's just a matter of letting the profile take care of it. So it looks like the terminating altitude for this arrival is 7,000 feet. Let me dial that down now. And then when it gets to my top of descent here, it should start a descent. I wonder if I have a descend now function. Where would that be? In this. You know what? That may be a Boeing thing. Huh. I don't know what this means. IMM descent. That may be what I'm looking for. Well, let's try it. Oh, I see. Okay. It's going to start me down 1,000 feet a minute. That's fine. I can start the descent now. Well, if that's the case, let's just put this down to 24,000. Oh, I see. Okay, that disengaged the... Alright, they want me to change stars to Jesse too, which I'm not going to do. It's a nice thing about simulators. You don't have to... you won't get violated if you don't follow air traffic control. Alright, let's see what happens when I bring that back on. Okay, I want to level off at 31 just to recapture this vertical deviation. Hello. Hello. Hopefully that's loading the Phoenix area. There we go. Okay, that's doing what it's supposed to do there. I see what's happening here. I don't want to turn that off. Now we should be following that vertical path. Let's see what happens if I... Oops, that's not what I want. Need to give this a little bit of speed brake. Turn the seatbelt sign back on. Alright, let's do a descent check. Camp memo. Normal. Weather and landing info. We got that up here. Let's just double check. 0904. Good. 1730.19. That's all good. FMS set for destination. That's good. MDA, let's get that for 7 left. Looks like the ILS is 1326. Let's see. Okay, and I'll hit final approach. And what do we got here? 111.5, 78. And let's do a quick briefing on this approach. This is the ILS, runway 7 left at Phoenix. Frequency 111.5, inbound approach course 78. Initial approach fix Savona, cross Valor at 4,000 to Zynga 2,600, and then minimums are 1326 entered. This approach is climbing left-hand turn back up to 5,000 feet, back to PXR, VOR, and hold. Minimum sector altitude 6,200 feet for the direction we're coming in. Airport elevation 1135. Notes DME required. ANG flight path not coincident. Flight level 180 transition. And that's all good. Any questions? Approach brief is complete. We're crossing Eagle. Let's make sure we're where we're supposed to be. 180, 260 knots. I am going to turn profile off and I'm going to manually fly the descent. Crossing Eagle, 260 knots. Next restriction is Homer, below 17. Since I'm not using profile, I'm going to put the next at or above restriction in there, which is 13,000 feet at Botox. They got some funny names on this arrival. there I am up there. I do some housekeeping with world traffic. I kind of clean up airplanes being right on top of one another. Let's see if I can find that 2413. Let's take him out of there. That looks better. Alright, there's 18,000 feet. Wing light on. Fasten seatbelt sign on. And what was my altimeter? 3020. And that's it. Start to come down a little quicker. Just get out a little bit of speed brake. Boat tops, 13,000 minimum, below 14. Between 13 and 14. Alright, next restriction is Gino at 11,230 knots. Okay, there's 250 knots. I can put some flap out. Come on. Why isn't this coming down? Oh, let's hit this. Okay, next is Queen at 10,210 knots. So at this point, I would usually, is that the airport? I'm not quite sure if that's the airport. So we'll hold off calling it. Right, next we have Hitty. That's 7,210. Yep, that's the airport in real life. I'd call that in sight, but for now we're going to just continue on our arrival, shoot the full approach. And below 10,000, I'm going to turn all my lights on. All of these things are coming on. I'd make an announcement at this point, seatbelt signs on. Ignition, I'll keep off. We have good weather. I gotta get down. Get rid of some of these guys. 1868. Sorry, American. Thin this out, thin out the herd a little bit. And get rid of this 2371. It looks like I got a friend down here. 1798. Well, You know what? Let's confiscate his space too. I think that's good. Q base. O base. 7,000. Let's go on a heading here. Slow at 190. Let's get out another notch of flap. And we will descend to 4,000. Descent check is complete. Standing by on before landing check. How are we looking out there with traffic? Let's go in after this guy, American 438. I'll slow her up even more. Let's go back to 170. How are we doing out here? 757. A lot of wind turbulence with those things, so let's give it some extra space. He's also doing 248. We better slow up. Looks like he's going to be landing on the left side anyway. I'm landing on the right side. Alright, I think I can start my turn here. Let's go down to 180. Go ahead and wake up all the neighbors down there. Right, ILS mode is on. When I receive the final vector for the ILS, I'll hit this land here to intersect. Let's go over to about 160. Alright, final vector, let's come over to 111 to intercept, 4,000 feet. And 4,000 total established, cleared ILS. What are we? 7 left. So now we'll hit land. That should intercept the localizer and glide slope. And we'll pretend they want us at 170 knots to a valley. Localizer's alive. Capture. All right. Wow, looks like I gave a lot of space there. We will be a left turn off, try to make either E10 or E11, and then we'll be parking in Terminal 2. Okay, before landing, auto brake set. Oh, looks like I can't set that yet. I see you land, flaps set. There is glide slopes live. Ground spoilers armed. Standing by for gear. Alright, let's lower back to 144. Another notch of flap. I don't know when I can arm the auto brake. I guess after I have my gear down, possibly. Alright, we'll drop the gear. There you go. 3 green, no red, full flat. And we got 139 on the ref. I confirmed that. 138 now. Alright, let's try to arm this. Oh, there it goes. You have to have your gear down. Okay, before landing, flaps are set full, ground spoilers armed, auto brake is set, and gears down, 3 green, no red. before landing check is complete. Alright, I'm going to disengage the autopilot. Gotta hit that twice. I assigned the key to that, by the way. Hope I don't embarrass myself on this landing.
400. 300. 200. 100. 40. 20. 10. 5.
Alright. See how well this auto brake does. Alright, pretty good. Alright, let's okay, so we're going to Terminal 2. That's actually behind us, so we're going to go left on Echo 11 here, and, oops, Delta 10, I mean, and get up the taxi diagram. Flaps up. Spoilers disengaged. Lights. That on. Strobe off. Turn off. Here's the Southwest Empire. I don't know if anyone's over there at Terminal 2. We may be the only occupants. Oh, my brakes are hot. Okay, we'll turn on the brake fan. What else do we want to do? Want to start the APU? Can turn these guys off. We've got a DHL friend coming out there. I don't know if he's going to want to come down my taxiway. And he is. Oh, I see why no one's parked at Terminal 2. Got nothing but construction there. Huh. Well, maybe we can park on the other side. Oh, no, that's not Terminal 2. That's Terminal 2 up here. One of those gates is ours. Right, we're going to turn a little early here so we don't get run over by DHL. Let's turn in here and look for our gate. Let's turn the taxi lights off. APU bleed on. There's a good place. We'll go to number 5. What airline do we have here? Atlas Air, huh? Oh. Iris is off. Fuel pumps all off. Let's hook up ground power so we don't smoke everyone out here with our APU. Oh, it's called a catering truck. External power, trucks. I think that's about all we need for now. Alright, let's turn off the APU. Did my gate come up? No. Oh, it did. Look at that. They matched the catering trucks, got the same. Let's close that door. We'll need that open. All right, and there we go. That's our flight from Albuquerque to Phoenix. That's interesting. All right, well, we'll see you on the flip side.